know why. And
Yeah, I was not hard to get name. We just been there.
and we've got Wahamwami Wamasha, and I believe he's still enjoying his fruits. I can
No,
see
on.
he limbed a lot. He had a lot of Matawa and the FRA. Did the FRA pay you already?
No, no, no. I didn't take any mails to FRA.
Okay, this was just for your
I'm
own
just
consumption.
on consumption.
Oh,
No, but the
fantastic.
question is, seeing as you are there, Mr. Mata, there are reports
Uh,
that farmers are not getting payments from FRA. What's going on? These people are gonna make us lose the elections. You don't touch our farmers. The
Mm,
government, we understand, released the money to
hmm
pay these farmers like 2 months ago. What's going on, Bamacha? We're in October now. Actually, November
what's going
2nd.
on? Eh?
What? Yeah, you
What's
tell
going
us.
on
You are
now
on
is
the ground. We don't want to be lied
what
to.
is going
Go
on
ahead.
now. The farmers who have not been paid anything have started receiving their inputs. So don't ask me about whether they've been paid or not paid, but they're receiving the inputs. As to
hmm
whether they have been paid or not paid, I don't know. But they have started receiving their inputs. Fertilizer,
hmm mm.
and where
I
they
think
pay.
I think for the most part they've paid most of the farmers.
Let's not sugarcoat things.
Let's not
We
sugarcoat. Are you saying the
have
majority haven't been paid?
farmers that
Mm,
are complaining. I mean, it
mm,
doesn't matter if it's one or two people. At the
mhm,
end of it,
mhm.
gentlemen, it's all about perception.
Perception.
You know what's going
Fantastic.
to happen?
Mm,
The opposition are going
Mhm.
to run with this issue and say 2 million farmers haven't been paid. And
mhm,
do you know what kind of commotion that's going to bring to the agriculture sector? I mean,
mhm,
Mr. Toropiri by
Small
now with
thing,
all
it's a
his
small
people.
matter.
I mean, this is something they should have had. I mean, come on, how many years are we going to give these people? What's going on? For
mm,
me, when I hear stuff like that, really it blows my blind.
mm.
That's what I have to say.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
let's start the show because that one is more of a deeper conversation and more of a topic on its own. That obviously we would need some people to come and explain why. That it is what it is. But well, let's start the show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Of course, like I said, we've got Wakalinda, joining us, and of course, Lamasha, who's just dropped out. I think, or he's still there, and or
I
he's
think he took
having,
the video off.
he's having network issues. Yeah,
As always in Zambia, it's always about the
yeah,
network.
network issues. So,
Uh-huh.
but of course, we got a lot of topics to look at and dissect. And I think the most burning issue right now that it's everywhere on the internet, it's everywhere in all African countries. It's what's happening in Tanzania. So Tanzania, of course, we know that there's been unrest, riots have been sprawling down the streets of Dar es Salaam and everywhere. It's also have moved on even to as far as Kenya, and the Kenyan young individuals have joined that, and people are saying, will that also happen in Zambia? So there seem to be some sort of a disagreement. She's won 98% today as we speak. 98% of the votes she's won, and she's the president as we speak. Whether she's, whether the people is protest, but she is the president as we speak. Now, Makalinda, since you're one of the professional journalists, I'm sure you're keeping tabs on issues like this that are happening across Africa, and it's not only Tanzania, Cameroon as well. There's so much going on, Sudan. So Tanzania, what's happening there? Why are people not happy with their current leader, Samir?
Well, I mean, I think that's a multi-layered, problem in Tanzania or Tanzania, however you want to pronounce it. But I mean, let's look at it. This Tanzania got its independence in 1961, right?
Mhm.
They have only been led by one political party called the LCCM, whatever you call it.
It's
Uh,
the CCM,
yeah, the CCM.
Chama Mapanduzi Party.
Yeah,
Julius
whatever
Nyerere.
that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've only been led by that one political party, right? The
Mm.
only things that have changed in the last 65 years of that country's existence, it's the players on top.
Mm.
Okay? That's the
Mm.
only thing that's changed.
Mm. Mm.
But it's one political party. I mean, stemming from that, I thought the lady that came on, whatever her name is it Professor, whatever? Anyway, I thought she had, she was going to follow through the late president, the one she took over from, what is Magufuli? Is that the
Magufuli.
name? Magufuli. Is that the
Hold on. We got the doctor just jumped in before you continue. But Doc has also been dodging me. But Doc, how are you?
Good. How are you? How's everybody?
We're good. Now, since the doctor has come in, let me do my vuvuzelas, okay? For
Ah,
Okay.
my, for my wonderful Aussie husband, let me do my
Go, go,
vuvuzelas.
go ahead.
No planted forever,
week nine.
whatever the
But the
weather.
Week
weather.
week nine. 30 more games to go.
This hour,
It's
and
our
my
home.
heart will leave you never. All right, Joe. I've done my babuzelas. Welcome back.
30 more games to go.
Oh my goodness.
The network is playing up on me here.
Okay, come on
Oh,
here. Come on, Mr. Mommy. Sorry for, I try to be silly from time to time. Come on, Mr. Mommy. Yeah, no, we get you. You go ahead. I know you had some
Yeah.
thoughts to speak about.
So the reason why farmers have not been paid, from the grapevine, we hear that they are waiting for FRI to export the maize to Mozambique. Then when they are
mm,
paid, that's when they'll pay the farmers their money.
mhm.
That
From
Mm.
was
the
the money
grapevine.
that was released by the government, Minister of Finance, like is it 2 months ago? They announced that they had released like $24 million to pay
Yeah,
off
some have been paid.
Ukraine.
It's not
Yeah.
all that have not been paid. Some have been paid.
Mm. Well, I
But-
think it's a good problem if you look at it, because it shows that a lot of farmers actually, produced bumper harvests.
Yes.
So there's no way the government is going to pay them immediately right there and then. Even in the past
Mhm.
governments, people were even staying way much longer than now. It's even shorter. People maybe
Yeah,
stay.
but you should not
No, 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 no,
can.
no. Like
You
everybody,
ain't
like everybody.
can.
It will even,
So
I mean, it seems to me we are
it will even
departing
help
from
them.
what we promised these farmers. The promise was you drop off your bags of maize at the depots, you get
mm,
your payments within 2 to 3 days.
mm,
Let's not compare to what was happening in the PF. We don't want to
mm.
go there.
Okay.
We
All right.
promised,
Let's,
and that's what
yes,
we've been
like I said,
doing. So,
Vakalinda, like
no,
I
let's
said,
not go back. Kanina, let's not go back to the PF.
okay,
Let's go back to what we promised these farmers.
fantastic.
We
So
we are a year, it's less than a year before the next election. Please don't make me
okay.
lose my cool on this. Okay.
I'm a farmer's badanda. Okay, so let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's not, go into a different way, because, like I said, that issue is something that we can tackle, later on. But we have what we need to discuss today, and of course, everybody has obviously looked on, the topics of discussion. So we're talking about the Tanzania issue. And you were just about to explain and finish, what's really happening there in Tanzania. If you can just, give us your perspective, and then of course we're gonna hear from Bamasha and then Madani. Thank you.
Yeah, where was I? You guys put me in all kinds of direction. I forgot my trail. So I was talking about the CCCM, right? Is
Yeah.
that the only party that's ruled Tanzania? The only thing that's changed is players. Then we had Magufuli dying, and this lady coming in. Whatever her name is, I can't keep up with all
Samia.
these names. I'm having a senior
Samia.
moment here.
I know it's Samia. Samia is one of our Samia.
Samia, President, Honorable Professor, whatever her last name is. So she comes in, she tries to go through the Magufuli, policies, and then in my understanding is along the way, she lost her soul. Okay. And I believe she was not popular in that country. People are ready for other political players to come in on the scene. But you know how power is. Power is sweet. Because I remember back in the day, this is what really, I'm going back there because this is what this lady reminds me of. There was a political rally being addressed by May Soros in peace. Is it the second Republican president, Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba, in Kabwe? He was really charged at that, political rally. We saw him. I think he was speaking, and then he stopped for a moment, took a glass of water, and then he told us. He looked in the camera and said, "Vane ichichipula inichina yombando no adilo wa." Anybody remember that political party?
I remember that
You
time.
remember?
You Kachiruba, that day I said,
I think Chiluba said that.
Yeah, he did. He said,
said,
"Oh, sweet."
he stopped talking from nowhere. He just started
Yes.
smiling and rubbing his eyes and
Yes.
said, this seat you see here is sweet. It's very, very sweet. Then he continued. He paused from nowhere and didn't just mention it and then. But people are saying he was a little bit drunk on that day.
Oh, or maybe he smokes a little chamba, who knows? But anyway, whatever happened, though, it's exactly what happened to Samia. She realized, that she was in a hot seat, and I believe probably she's being used by who knows the underworld. So she wants to stay on, and then the people are not happy, especially the young people, and so and with everything else that happened, all of a sudden people have no access to the internet during election time, and there are reports about ballot tampering. I mean, if there are 11 candidates on presidential candidates on the ballot, how do you get 98% and you're not popular? And that's what leads us to the people on the streets rioting. And unfortunately, the police are being used and the army to, trample on people's rights and trampling on people's rights with, all those bullets that are being shot. For what? Because I understand right now we have almost up to 230 people, bodies in the streets. I think it's not fair. I mean, it's sad that the African Union are not saying anything. But bringing it back to Zambia, though, it's sad that our opposition parties are going to jump on what's going on in Tanzania, thinking it's going to happen in Zambia. Zambia is a different case. Tanzania has only had one political party. And when you look at our opposition with all the infighting, all the confusion, you wake up today, Fred Membe is no longer, socialist president. Tonse is just embroidered in all kinds of confusion. Do they honestly think that when our young people look at them, they think, oh, they'll hear what they're saying and go to the streets? Because right now we have the PF or Makebi Zulu holding the body of the body of the sixth president hostage that he wants to use for campaign. I mean, what kind of nonsense? I mean, who is going? Yeah, but let me stop there, because when I just look at the opposition, it's just like, oh my God. They're just gravitating to anything to think that,
Yeah.
well, maybe whatever is happening to Tanzania is going to happen to Zambia.
No.
Yeah, but you got it wrong. I mean, dog, come in, dog.
Is it me or Bahamwami? Okay.
Well,
Mr.
mommy is
Marcus,
dropped out.
yeah.
All right. For me, I agree with what Bakalinda is saying there. It's the power, the sweetness of that power, and looking at this party that has ruled the country since independence. I was listening to BBC Africa, whatever, no, Deutsche Welle, whatever. They were saying that the fact that this party has been in power since independence, it has so many people that have been enjoying using this power that it has a very big base of people that are not in public that are still enjoying since independence because of this party being in power. So these are basically the people. They mentioned a number of generals, I don't know, but there are quite a number of retired generals that have been enjoying under Chama Chama Pinduzi. Okay, so this base, the base of Chama Chama Pinduzi is huge, and it has consolidated itself as owning Tanzania. You can imagine the generals who retired in 1980, those who retired in 1981, those who retired in 19, up to today, they were enjoying under Chama Chama Pinduzi. They are still enjoying under Chama Chama Pinduzi. So, though they are not in service, they are huge, huge factors. Imagine the ministers who used to be ministers in the 80s, in the 90s, and they are still supporting Chama Chama Pinduzi because it made them who they are, and they breathe, eat, sleep Chama Chama Pinduzi. So all those people are really in control of the party and the country as a whole. Though we are just looking at this woman on top, the base is very, very broad and very solid. Okay, so this is why the democracy basically in Tanzania has been sort of it was a fake image to say, oh, Tanzania is a democratic country, but basically the people have been suppressed for all these years by very, very powerful single party. Anyone who talks, they were talking about the people that have died mysteriously in Tanzania for over these decades. People disappear there because they say you don't talk against the government. They say the wars have ears in Tanzania. If you talk, you never know who is listening. Next time you disappear. So it's very, very likely that this is what is happening here. This woman was put in place, and she could not change anything. She looks like a good woman from the outside. She looks like a very humble woman, but I think she found a system which just told her, this is the way we do things, and this is what you need to be doing. All right? Because the brutality continued, and she was so, she continued banning opposition rallies and arresting people. And just from day one, she arrested the first opposition party. One day in power, 24 hours in power, you arrest somebody. How can that be possible? It means she found the system already in place, and she just had to follow what to do. Say, hey, we've been following this guy for the past 2 years. You are in, but we are arresting him tomorrow. One day after being sworn in power, and then you arrest an opposition leader? It doesn't happen that way. So there's an underground party structure which is so powerful that it just tells whoever is there, do this, do that, do that. You can't go around and do your own thing. And that's the first thing. The second thing that the Deutsche Welle said was the semi-independence of Zanzibar from mainland Tanzania has also contributed to this thing, in the sense that the Zanzibar people, where she comes from, they regard themselves as semi-independent from Tanzania. They're normally against whatever the mainland laws are saying, because they have their own laws, a little bit few laws that are only applying in Zanzibar, and then the rest of the laws, some of the Tanzanian laws do not apply in Zanzibar. So the Zanzibar people, where she comes from, they are somehow regarded as rebellious people who don't want to be part of Tanzania anyway. Okay, so for her to be appointed as the president, the majority of the Tanzanians who are from the mainland, they are saying, okay, why are you bringing this person who is after all advocating for independence of our island, and she now wants to rule us? But in the meantime, when we say this is the Zanzibar people say, oh, that's for Tanzania, not for us here. So it was that notion that these are people that want to be independent, and yet the Chama Chama Pinduzi has appointed a person who comes from a semi-independent country, the island, to rule us all. So they felt that doesn't make sense. If you hear the chants of the people on the street, they are saying, "Let her go back to Zanzibar. Let her go back to Zanzibar. She doesn't belong to Tanzania." So that is though it's a minor aspect of it, to me, the Tanzanian people would not want to be ruled by someone from Zanzibar because of what Zanzibar people talk about Tanzania itself. So they just feel that those guys are not fully Tanzanians, and they say bad things about Tanzania and da, and then now you want them to rule us? So to me, if they want unity between Zanzibar and Tanzania, Zanzibar, because of its population, should definitely be maybe the vice president position or something like that. That's the human nature. You want the majority to rule and not the minority. Look at what happened in Iraq. That's why Saddam Hussein was so dictatorial, in the sense that he came from the minority in Iraq. So if you rule the country and you come from the minority area of the country, it's very difficult sometimes, because the most of the people regard you as a foreigner. Okay, well, he comes from there, or she comes from there, and she wants to rule all of us. So to me, if you want integration in that situation, you have to integrate, have a government of national. For example, she should have maybe had a vice president, a deputy vice president, whatever, from the mainland to balance the powers. But what I'm hearing is that the cabinet was mostly Zanzibar, this Zanzibar people, and the Tanzanians just felt that they're being ruled by the wrong people. So that's something that people should realize. That's what's happening, But the main factor of this dictatorial tendencies is from the base of Chama Chama, which is very, very. They don't want to leave. The power is sweet. They have been there for years and years enjoying. You can imagine the enjoyments they've been enjoying all these years. They don't want to leave it. And that's why they're so dictatorial right now. I submit.
Well, fantastic. With me, I think my submission on this is, yes, just like everybody else has said. They've been ruled by one party. You know, Julius Nyerere was, one of the founding fathers and Pan-Africanists, just like David Kaunda, just like all these others, that were in the same group and same intake, for lack of a better word, at that time. They had a position, and they had a way of doing things. That's why Kaunda, had ruled Zambia for 27 years, right? But Zambians woke up a little bit faster, and they said, look, I think we need change, and we need change of leadership. Because if a leader, no matter how good that leader is, no matter how brilliant that leader is, change needs to happen. And it needs to be across the board, and it needs to be not a one-party state. So the one-party state system, even though in Tanzania it looks like it's not one-party state, but it is actually one-party state, because if one party has been ruling, for over 50 years, okay, then what's been happening to all these oppositions? So I think they've come to the party a little bit late, but it's better late than never. Zambians, they woke up long time ago, and they said, look, we don't need UNIP anymore. We need to bring back that multi-party system that's going to give us an opportunity to choose a leader or a political party of our choosing and like.
Mm-hmm.
That actually didn't, of course, we saw MMD, we saw PF, yeah, UPND, all these other different parties, you know. But at the time, when Julius Nyerere Kaunda, they had a very different vision at the time. And their vision was sort of like a Pan-African system where, it has to be one party and one president that's going to rule. But who's going to rule forever? And which party? Like you're saying, the party itself has been, has been there for over 60 years, and it's had members. And all these members, you can imagine up to now, they're still benefiting. Would they want to lose that sweet? Just like what Kalinda was saying, this seat is sweet. Would they want to leave the sweet? Even if in fact, I can even, quote, Bowman Lusambo when he was being interviewed on Radio Phoenix. He said, iwe bakubikira obwali bwanama ero watewera fyo umkusumo, like you just get the test and then they tell you now, no, don't eat anymore. Are you going to agree? So that's how it is. The power is sweet. That power is so sweet, and that political party is there. I think they're doing a disservice to the people of Tanzania. I think they need to let the people choose which political party they want to come in power. But it is what it is. She is the president. So, but I've seen the pushing for the military, to say to side with the citizen or something like that. They want some sort of a Sierra Leone kind of thing, according to what I was seeing and watching on Al Jazeera. You find like the protesters, they're busy, chanting to the military. You say, yeah, you know, so who knows what's going to happen? But like you're saying, there's so many generals that have been there for years and years and years. I don't know how possible that's going to be, and I don't know the future of Tanzania. But the big question is, where are all these big organizations? Where is AEU? I mean, where is the African Union?
They have spoken.
Okay,
They have
they have just
congratulated her,
spoken.
and they have said they wish her good luck. The African Union has released the statement.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yesterday. They said
What did it say?
congratulations to President for your victorious what. It's crazy.
The
You know,
African Union is toothless.
they have released the statement
They
already.
are a bunch of cowards
Yeah,
who are only interested in what's in their best pockets
yeah.
interest, nothing else.
It's a useless organization.
It's a useless. I don't even know why as Zambia we are part of it.
Mm,
But anyway, having said that, I think for us, let's narrow this idea of the opposition parties just jumping at things that are happening around us, thinking if Malawi went the Peter Mutharika way, that's what's going to happen in
mm,
Zambia. If
mm,
whatever confusion is happening in Tanzania, it's what's
mm,
going to go in Zambia. I mean, what kind of thinking? What are those people
mm,
thinking? Like, why can't they put their houses in order first?
mm,
Mr. Oh, that's no, he's not a Mr. now. Dr. Freddie Membe. Put your house in order. You're not even
mm,
the president anymore because I understand Socialist Party is now under Kelvin Kaunda. Wherever that guy came from, we have no idea. And then the whole madness in
mm,
Tonse. Who's going to lead Tonse? Is it first of all, who's going to lead PF? I mean, PF is not even here because now PF is broken up in 4, 5, factions. Legally on paper, PF belongs to Chavinga, and Chavinga says there's no convention. We are the only. What are these other PF factions gonna do? Because they were trying to use the National Congress party And look where that's led them. But I'm thinking Mundubire is working with that party over there, the Congress Party, and Lurinda with Nakashinda, who is how many years did he get? 2 years or a year? By the time he comes back, will be in the second term of President Haga in this term. And Makebi Zulu trying to lose Edgar Chagwalungu's body to propel his presidency into something. What kind of nonsense is that? Somebody, please help me. Help me.
Well, Vakalinda, it's very sad. I think you brought up a very important point or a topic. It's very, very sad to see leaders that people think maybe they might be, presidents for Zambia in the future, to come up with statements that will be championing civil unrest in their own country. Where is your patriotism?
Tell me about it.
What happened to you being a leader for the people? You want havoc to happen in Zambia? Are you sure that's the message you're sending to your followers? Personally, I wouldn't want to follow such a leader, because I know that this leader that is going to be a problem if he ever had to be ushered in power. He would be one of those leaders that will do things their way or the highway. It's either their way or the highway. Like, there's no other way, just their way. It's not a person that's going to listen to the people.
Tell me about it.
So
Tell
those
me
type of
about it.
leaders are actually very, very dangerous, because they believe a system that has never worked in Africa, and a system that's been failing to where they get it from. They're using a template, in Venezuela and all these other places, and it's failed tremendously, and they're trying to bring it in Zambia and Africa, which it can never work. As Zambians, therefore, especially Zambians themselves, tatuate mwenkondo. Us Zambians are actually very peaceful people. We love our freedom. And if Zambians they okay, what is the point? Okay, what is the main reason why would Zambians stand up to start throwing stones and stuff like that? Okay, last time it was in the 80s when the things went bad because of Kaunda staying for too long. The other time here and there, but for the most part, this government is doing its best. And we cannot lump all the problems that have been happening for the last 60 years on one political party and say, solve it now. If you don't solve it, then we're going to go to the streets. No. It's very unfair. But Danny.
Yeah. Yeah, the opposition response to the Tanzanian one just shows how immature they are in their ideologies. There's no way you can wish something bad to your country and say, I want to rule a country that will be broken into pieces. It just doesn't make sense. And each and every one of them were saying, oh, yeah, this is coming to Zambia. Yes, this is coming to Zambia. It's coming to Zambia, and then you want to lead. It doesn't just, to me, to be honest, I haven't, even Munduvire hasn't said anything. And that's, if you can't say anything, just keep quiet. That's better. So Munduvire is quiet, which I like. Don't comment on such type of thing. But most of the Calabas, the word, oh yes, this is coming to Zambia, it's a matter of time. It's, to me, it's very, very unfortunate to have that type of opposition. But as Akalinda said, right now, I don't even, with a few months to go before the elections, I was listening to my brother Kashambatwa on radio and TV the other day. He was saying this will be a very, very strange election in the sense that it's the first time since 1964 that we've never had proper opposition challenging the incumbency. Nothing. There will be nothing next year. There will be no credible opposition opposing our party, UPND. Zero. I know some people say, don't say that. It's true. There's no way these guys can get organized within 5 months. They have 5 months to organize themselves. 5. Okay? To go to a convention, find a leader and market the leader and then win.
No, no,
Yes,
no, no. I mean, first of all, they have to register a party.
they have, yeah. So remember the last 3 months,
Mm-hmm,
of before August. So we're talking about June. Actually, we're talking about May.
mm-hmm,
May, June, July. So these last 3 months, every political party should have already finished their campaign. You don't campaign in the
mm-hmm.
last 3 months. So basically, they have only December, January, February, March, April, May. That's it to do their work. And knowing them right now, if they have to choose a candidate, they have to go to the national convention. They have to organize money for a convention. That
Mm-hmm.
takes months. They go to
Yeah, I
convention,
mean,
then they, yeah,
registration, organize a convention, and in the meantime, they
yeah,
have a body that they have to bury.
yeah. And you remember, the ballot boxes have to be printed within the next 2 3 months. So
Correct.
if they delay, the Electoral Commission of Zambia is going to say, we have to print these ballots. You don't print ballots a day before the elections, you print them months before the elections. So they need to come up with the candidates basically within the 4 months. Otherwise, the train will leave the station.
Oh, the
And
train has failed. I mean, the way I
yeah,
look at it, the train has failed.
yeah. So,
Because we are at a standstill. I mean, they
yeah,
can't organize. They can't be seen to be organizing themselves because
yeah,
they have a body which is in the mortuary in a morgue in South Africa
yeah,
that's not being moved. And
yeah.
then we have also the South African faction who are saying, "Hey, if the president decides to, I mean, in fact, who told Makebi that HH that wants to come and witness his ECLs? But who told him?
The South
I mean,
African,
what a stupid way to release a statement to the Zambian people. Oh, if the president just steps aside, yeah, the body will bring it tomorrow. I mean, how many times has he changed his stance? It's like if we move a needle just an inch, he'll come back and move that needle 2 inches back. What
mhm.
is he thinking?
The BBC, South African Broadcasting, they that same day they asked the Zulu about that statement. They said, "Oh, we don't want HH to be near." Then they said, "Do you know that HH has been leaving the country for sometimes 2 3 4 days, and then he comes back? Why don't you take the body when he's out of the country?" HH has been making international tours. He goes to UK. That time he went to Britain. He was there almost a week.
Uh-huh.
If they
Mm.
wanted to take the body in his absence, take flight then, because it was away. Go. And why don't you use that opportunity if you don't want? He goes out very soon. He's gonna go out for another week or so outside the country. So take it. Said no, he can fly back. No, he can't
No, but
go.
I mean, in true sense, the Zulu faction, they have the right to the body. I mean, it's just that we have somebody who is like, I mean, I've always said about this about HH. He's too much of an SDA elder.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
the courts gave the Zambian government the powers to get that body from South
yeah,
Africa and bring it to Zambia. I
yeah,
don't know why our government is doing that, but I mean they're not doing it.
yeah.
I mean, on the sites. I mean, I've spoken to one Kabesha. He says we're just gonna let it play out. What
Yeah.
does that tell me?
Yeah, the government thinks that
Well,
they'll get fed up.
No,
mm,
The, go- the
I mean,
government think that get fed up
the
and finally.
Cases do, they are very lucky I'm not in State House because me, if I was in State House, that body would have. The same day the South African government gave me the right to have permission to get that body, we would have buried that body already by
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
Because right now,
that's
I mean,
okay.
we are the government. I mean, this Christianity, we get it. We are all Christians, but some things you just have to take. In Tonga we say you have to take the horns of a bull as
Mm,
it's fighting. So we see who can win it. That's how it is. I mean,
Hmm.
Zambians have moved on,
Yeah,
and I mean, I can tell you that it would be a sorry day or state of affairs in Zambia. I mean, I think this is one president that we are going to take home to Barry, and people won't even care because Zambians have moved on.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, because when you ask most Zambia, they're even telling you, but she go queen, it's okay.
Yeah.
I
Zambians are
mean, when you
tired,
have
really.
Zambians on the streets talk like that, what does that give you? And you want to use the body to campaign. You think you're going to win?
He
Oh,
said,
come
if I
on.
don't stand as president, I'm gonna sin against God. God has told me I should be the next president.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yes, I mean, didn't he release a week in the same week? This week he released a statement that he had a conversation with Lungu, who told him he's going to be the president, the next president. Who talks
But
like
how many
that? You
people
are a
have
lawyer.
brought up that issue or that story? You know, KBF says the same thing. You know, all these other people in the opposition, you know, even Nakachinda says he told me. So everybody was promised, but who is? So, you know, just on, you know, tapping on Makebi Zulu statement, I think to me it sounded a little bit funny because like the back and forth is really people are like, what really is the problem? Because the reasons they're bringing across are very irrelevant and very trivial. You know, for him to come up to say, oh, if if the government writes to us to say HH won't attend the funeral, then tomorrow will be on the next plane. Really? I think that's not a break of any deal.
So childish. And that's
Whether
the
they want it or not, I don't think you know. I don't think they even want to bring the body because there's something deeper than what an average Zambian is seeing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, what do we see? He wants to stand as the president. So he wants to stand as a president. He's the family lawyer. You know, he's representing the family. Isn't that conflict of interest?
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one on the negotiating table when they say
yeah,
we're talking to the government. I mean,
yeah.
how are you going to negotiate with somebody who's going to be who's your opponent in the next coming general elections? Because obviously now it has become political now. It's not no longer a family issue, it's
I'm
political.
saying, but this issue has
Hmm?
been political from the
So,
inception.
hmm, okay. So these are the issues that Zambians now have woken up and saying, no, no, no. If really you're coming up to say, oh, I want to be the president of Zambia. Now, how are the Zambian people going to listen to you? If one, you're just displaying how bad of a leader you are or how bad of a negotiator you are. Because if you are put in charge of negotiating this, really, an average Zambian who's, because you call yourselves the Patriotic Front, who's very patriotic to the country, they could have listened to the greater good and to the people. 100% of the people are saying, bringing back, we want to bury him because he wasn't the president of the family. He was a president for Zambia. And Zambia comprises of all these provinces, different parties. Even the PF themselves, the party members are saying, we want to bury our president here in Zambia. So why are they just holding on to it like Ichtumbi, Tabakwate, a political a song or a political, what do you call it, you know, a political anthem or campaign, you know? So which is very sad, you know, that's what they're doing. But I think that issue has been exhausted. Let's go to the next topic, lady and gentlemen. I don't know if you saw that. Bakasonde Mwenda, you know, the so-called one man party, National Neka party leader. He went and sued the government to say because of load shedding, I'm going to sue the government because they are load shedding the Zambian people, and because the Zambian people need to have power and they're exporting, blah, 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 blah. So he has sued the state. I don't know what you guys think. Whoever wants to tackle this first.
That's just madness. Is everyone knows the reason why we have load shedding, and if the government had just sat in the chair and do nothing, that would be another case. But right now, we know how many projects, the alternative projects for generation of power the government is involved in. I was so shocked when I saw that list of how many solar projects they are doing right now. More than 50
Mhm.
right now across the country.
Mhm.
That's a lot of projects being worked on right now. So in the next few months or so, we're definitely
Mhm.
gonna be on top of this problem. So
Mhm.
Robert Mwenda is just a dreamer or whatever. He's an alarmist. You can see he's always talking as if he's got some better like better terms, like it's constipated or something like that. It's, you look at his face. So it's I don't know, it's being an irresponsible citizen in my view. But otherwise, the government, everyone knows the government is doing its best to alleviate the situation. Yeah.
Rakalinda.
Okay, for me, here's I'm going to sing a song in Tonga, and then I'll translate that.
Mhm.
Um,
Go ahead.
in Tonga, we have a song. You know, when a child does something wonderful, magical, and we get together as a family, any Tonga family will attest to this. Usually, parents would sing to you with this song. They would say, "Waga halaji anga chindi jage, waga halaji anga chindi jage, waga halaji anga chindi jage, waga halaji anga chindi jage," meaning,
I know Chin this time.
yes.
The person who gave birth to a fool, that's his problem.
Yes. And in Ibakasunde Mwenda, I don't know what Kool-Aid is drinking or what he's puffing. I don't know. When I listen to him, I look at him and I ask myself that, is this man sane? Because he comes up with so out. I think he's out of. He's out of touch with reality. You know, like the dog says, the man is an alarmist. The man is out of touch with reality. I mean, I don't know. I think sometimes he thinks he's already the president. I mean, he has issued so many outlandish statements from the time he formed that political party that he claimed. I mean, it has this mantra: "The legs shall take us there." So the legs are going to take him to China if he continues. That would be my word of, I don't see it. How do you sue the
Yeah.
government? I mean, it's different if you have a government that's sitting on its laurels, but
Mhm.
you have a government that's bringing in investors to try to alleviate the problem. Now, big investors that are coming into the country. Starting off with the recent investment that went into that Sri Lanka. What's NC? What's that? What United Capital? With their
United.
fertilizer,
Yep.
right there in Sri Lanka, attached to that investment. They're also producing solar that, which provides power for them, and then the extra is being put into the national grid.
Mhm.
Talk about Chisamba Solar. That's been, that investment right there. You know, they have, power. They are producing that goes into their, factory. The extra is being given to, Mamba quarries. This government came in. They found a $600 million date, and Mamba quarries was almost coming to a halt. They have been paid, and they even expanded on their power production. I mean, all these power stations in my in my own father's backyard, right there in what's that word? What is that area?
Shivunji.
Is it not Shibuyonju? Not Shibuyonju. That's where my father's house is. What's before Shibuyonju? They
Mumbwa. Is it
just
Mumbwa?
yeah,
Mumbwa.
Mumba. They just There's a 15, it's a 50, power generation company that mining. I mean, it's also, giving us extra power. I mean, there are all these solar things that are under, being manufactured or produced right now, which are probably by the end of this year, you're going to see a lot of power generation that's going to be fed into the national grid.
Mhm.
We are all reading it. We are all seeing it. I mean, it's not just, it's not just words. We are actually seeing the results,
Mhm. Mhm.
and more results are coming. And then you have somebody like, my legs are going to take me there. I'm telling you, that man is going to go to China. Man. Just watch his face.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Remember, the National Neka Party, these the National Neka Party leaders, they've been mushrooming for some time now. But, I've been listening to him. I heard his story, and I was like, for the most part, all the time, he's got his facts wrong. All the time. He always has his facts wrong. And if you listen to Friday's, parliament sitting, the vice president is saying that we're no longer exporting power. You know, the time that we were exporting power was we were obliged to go through the contracts, that were there already in place. So that was what was happening. But
And let's
the,
also add those contracts were
Under PF,
signed by who?
the PF,
PF,
the
and
PF,
they chewed the money already. They chewed
yeah.
the money already.
So they took the
and
money
they
already.
chewed the
So
money.
now what they're saying is like we actually have, cut back, to what we were exporting. We've cut back, and what has been happening is I think he doesn't have it right. She explained that there are individual business people, private companies that are actually now exporting power outside Zambia. There are so many companies now. They import from wherever, Tanzania, Mozambique. They're using the Zambian facilities to export to other countries. So the export, it looks like, Zambia is exporting, but it's actually the business individuals, private companies that are doing that business, but just using the government infrastructure, which is already in place. And so he has got his facts wrong. So his case, it's a DOA. So we'll see what's going to happen. I think he's going to be very ashamed. But the vice president was very categorically, and she explained it in parliament, say, look, this is what's happening. Zambia is no longer, and like you're saying, I believe by the end of this year, according to what I heard, Zambia will at least, with alternative energy alone, will have at least 1,000 megawatt, of power by the end of this year. 1,000, probably another 1,000 next year. So we'll be looking at everybody. That's why I'm saying that this issue of load shedding is coming to an end. But people want it to end now. Things that therefore, I don't know. It should end now. It should end now. I'm like, no. That's not the way things happen. You know.
By the way,
So
there were MPs
mm,
that were given up to next week to produce evidence that Zambia is exporting right now.
yes, yes.
So now
So,
they're saying no, but we had 5 months ago. I said that was 5 months
mm,
ago.
mm,
But the speaker gave those two
mm,
MPs,
yes.
including this guy, the Kitweb guy.
There was one guy from Mukushi South. I forget his name.
Yeah,
Who brought it up, and then I don't know who else. Which one? Binwell.
yeah.
Yeah. So all those
So
people,
they have
they
been
talk about
told bring evidence right now
evidence.
next Friday,
Hmm.
and let's see it.
Yes. Because people they're misleading the people, and people are just listening to them, and they say, "Oh, FHT kanshi,
Hmm.
kanshi FHT."
Yeah.
Anyway, so on another story, a nice Quenu, the nice gesture by our first lady, Ramayova Mutinta. She went to the Copper Belt and made a huge donation to Kitwe General Hospital. I think the last time I was seeing, a first lady being this active in terms of, her practical work. and donating to the less privileged. I think it was very actually he was very good at that. To be honest, I don't know, but I didn't see Esther Lungu do anything like that. Besides her having an organization that she says she had an NGO, I never saw her. I'm sorry to just bring it up, but I was just thinking.
Chilusia,
I was just thinking.
you don't want me to take me there, do you?
So I was just thinking to say, the
Do
woman.
you want me to remind you of
Uh,
the dinosaur? Badiaba Mayoba Nanyuba Esther came here to America to collect in Los
oh,
Angeles. That fire truck,
if
a
my outdated
dinosaur,
fire tracks,
uh, which she donated to Saka Fire Department.
which have never
To,
been used.
it's never even so. It never left. It's as we speak, it's on stones. Eh? And she used $1 million to go
Oh
and
my
collect
God.
that
She
dinosaur.
had
So,
30 people in the
eh,
entourage.
yeah,
Three
so
zero.
don't take me there, Bachilufi. Let's
Three
just
zero.
restrict our comments on on my wonderful older sister here,
Yeah,
Mutunta. Yeah, so go ahead. I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want you to. You took me there.
Okay,
Blame
so
yourself.
it was just a thought. I was just thinking, while I was watching what she was doing, I was like, "Well, this is brilliant work. I mean, this is a nice look on the government, the country, and I think as a whole, in the first family, I think they've proven to say we love Zambian people, and sometimes they do things out of their own pocket. Sometimes they would partner with donors, but when that happens, it is shown. It's not hidden. Yeah, it's not a secret NGO that nobody knows. So I think that was I don't know, you guys, if you saw that. What's your take on that? What's the impact on the people in the Copper Belt? Just Zambia as a whole. And the image of UPND and the president.
Yeah, that was
Well, I
good.
mean,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead. You already. I heard it good. I already spoke. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that was a good gesture, and I like the way the the media covered it. It was not to exhibit her face in front of this and that and that. They basically just covered the equipment that was donated and what they sort of just mentioned her name a little bit, but not to put her face in front and doing all this type of thing that to show off. No, I think, in my view, I think she had requested that the whole process does not center on her. I think because the media would have really paraded her in front of everything, every little microscope, every little X-ray machine. You know what I mean? But she didn't do that. She stayed away from that. The media were concentrating on showing the equipment. The only time they showed her was getting on a helicopter back to Osaka and not something like that. So I think it was a good coverage in my view, which she didn't really want to be in the center of the attraction, but just to show the equipment and that came from the first lady's office. That's it. It's a very humble. It was a humble way of covering that event. Otherwise, I think if it were in other regimes, the first lady would have stood there, 100 pictures in front of the camera and all that, but she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do that. That's what I observed. You know. Yeah.
Okay, Makalinda, you want to?
Yes, let me add on something here. I'm going to start with the history of our first ladies. Okay,
Mhm, mhm,
starting with Betty. Betty, Betty.
mhm,
I mean, the only things we heard about Betty was
mhm,
Kaunda. That is, she
mhm,
was all about protecting her husband.
mhm,
We heard stories about Betty scolding
mhm.
um, somebody, a servant at State House, because she looked at Vadok in a certain way. Now, that story is neither here or there. She poured that woman in hot water.
Ah,
And she just took a hot a pot boiling of hot water and poured on the server at the State House who was looking at
Serious?
that dog. You didn't hear these stories.
Oh
Anyway,
man.
and now then we moved on to Vera. Vera, I mean, I love that woman. I mean, she's the one that came in with this whole idea of the first lady foundation thing, and
Mm.
everybody from since then, and until before now, everybody came up with, oh no, Vera Chiluba Foundation, me, I'll be taking care of the little kids or whatever,
Mm.
whatever. She did her thing. I love that
Mm.
woman because,
Mm.
nobody come and did it to Mayo, but she did it. That
You know,
woman,
you
if she
know,
was
you know, you
given
know
a
what I
chance.
loved about her. Sorry to cut you short, but you know what I
Uh-huh.
loved about her? She
Mhm.
was very confident with herself.
Yes, yes,
Very,
absolutely.
very
Me too.
even though she didn't master the Queen's language. Like it wasn't like that, but she would stand tall. With confidence
She
when talking.
learned the Queen's language when she got to
Mm,
State House.
mm,
But she came out of it a better person. She could communicate.
yeah.
Her confidence. I mean, I just feel like she came maybe from a very poor background, and she got lucky, met by Frederick, though he left her in a bad state. But at the end of the day, if that woman was coming from a rich family, she'd have gone far in life just by the confidence that she exuded. She didn't care.
No, no,
So
she didn't.
so yeah. So then we moved on to from Betty. We came kuri Nani, Maureen. Maureen was a very may her soul rest in peace. Very educated woman, but that woman loved money. I'm so
Mm,
sorry. And she also
mm,
had, I mean, I can't even remember what she did with her Maureen Manawasa Foundation. I can't remember. Yeah,
mm,
now that was also a copycat from Bavera. And then we moved on to from Bavera, Maureen, we had Huba Tandiwe.
mm, mm,
Tandiwa was a young lady. She was just thrust into
mm,
the role of a first lady by her late husband, Dr. Banda. But she had two young kids. Also, she did what she had to do with her Tandiwe Foundation. Tandiwe Banda Foundation. I think she went into education because she was a teacher at heart. Well, we give her kudos. And then we came to who now? From Tandiwe, we had Vaesta. Vaesta, I can't even know what to say about her. And
mm,
then we have now Mutinta.
mm,
Mutinta has no foundation. She came in, she said, nope, I'm not doing I'm not going to duplicate what Vera did or
mm,
Maureen, Esther. I don't want a foundation.
mm,
I'm just going to pick whatever comes to my heart.
mm, mm,
And this is what she's doing. That's
mm,
who she is.
mm,
Even what she did in Kitwe, that's going to go a long way into reducing the mortality rate of our babies. And
mm,
that's huge. We can't have in 2025 half
mm,
of the babies being born in hospitals end up on a deathbed because they're lacking machines, drugs, and proper care. So what
mm,
she did there is huge. And like the doc said, she didn't want to be put. As people from Shibuyunji, or should I say
mm,
Shikatende,
mm,
we really don't want to. We rather our actions speak for ourselves. We don't want to be seen. That's our nature. So to see her do what she did, she's the first lady since I've been alive, who just said, look, don't put me as the first lady. I'm just gonna do me. You know, but when you think about it, it's nice to be married to one of the richest men in Zambia, and you don't have to worry about side chicks because you have
mm,
your husband has given you his PIN numbers at the bank, so you know what's in the account, and
mm.
she's doing exactly that.
Yeah.
So I'm saying kudos to her. Hopefully she does more. She's done a lot more, but yeah, she'll continue as the first lady, and of course, with her husband's money, she knows what to do. So
Okay.
kudos.
Kudos indeed. So the issue of Bill 7 has been on topic on most opposition. They're saying, okay, why is this constitution review? The committee has been chosen, and why is this one there? Why is this one there? Certain NGOs are backing out, say we don't support it. But at the first time, they were saying we needed a more comprehensive, more consultative, process. Now that process is being done now again. They're saying no. The people who have been appointed in the committee, we don't trust them. Like, what do people want? Like, what is it? What's the problem, really? Like, is it just the bill itself? Because the bill, I think that at the first time, people said it's not about the bill, but it's about the process. If I remember correctly, all these lawyers, when I KBF, Avina Sangwa, they were talking about the process. Now that the process is being followed, now they're saying no. You know, what's
Okay.
happening there?
All right. I'm gonna uh, comment on that one. I'll be very honest with this process called Bill 10 consultative process. In
Bill
my
7.
view, in my humble view, the the things that are in that bill, most of them are good, but a few of them are not good. Okay, and people have mentioned that over and over. When it comes to the period and way of consultation, definitely the time of doing this consultative meetings with citizens is the wrong time. We should all agree. It is 100% the wrong time. We cannot do it 5 months before the elections. We have things to concentrate on. Let the elections go and then let's do this. Okay? If you look at the other amendment bills that have come, they do them way in advance before the elections, not too close to the election like this one. This is one of the closest bill amendment or constitutional amendment process we've had in the country since 1964. There's something fishy about this. We have to be very honest about it. We cannot be in a hurry talking about spending money on doing this. I mean, consulting citizens and all that, when we have pressing issues right now where that money should have gone in buying solar panels, opening. We are doing that, but please, this should
Mm,
not be a priority right now. It shouldn't. Okay. Now, the process itself, of course, you say you're going to meet in provincial headquarters only in
mm,
few, not all the provinces, only a few. Is it 10? Whatever. They have left out some. Provincial headquarters
mm,
only?
mm,
My cousin in Shikatende
mm,
cannot go to Kabwe. Kabwe is, for him to go to Kabwe from Shikatende, that is his lifetime savings.
mm,
All right. He has no computer to do online whatever.
mm,
Yes. So the method of saying these guys are meeting in provincial headquarters, Chipata, the people who live in the Dulo, the rural eastern province, how would they find themselves going to Chipata? They have no computer, not even cell phones. They don't have even what. The only thing they have nowadays is a radio in the village. That's it. So the process, though it is there, to me, it's like a band-aid. It's not a real consultative what. That's my view. It is not being done well. We should accept that as UPND, and we should be very sincere to our leadership. This is not the right way to do it. To me, actually, if possible, it was supposed to be handled by MPs. They are the lawmakers. So the consultative meetings should have been done in the constituencies, not at the provincial level. No, those centers are not enough. We needed hundreds and hundreds of places where we can collect information from our citizens. And to me, constituency level was going to be okay because my cousin knows where to go in Shuyunji there to go and give whatever. But to say my cousin has to travel from
From
Shikatende
Shikatende.
to Kabwe.
Lusaka, and then they're not
Kabwe.
even sending them to Mumbai. They have to go to
Yes,
Kabul.
Kabwe. Ah,
Mm-mm. That's
that's a
wrong.
huge. My cousin has never been to Kabwe in his life. By the way, he doesn't
Mm,
even know
Mm.
where the provincial capital is for the province. So he has never
mm,
been there in his whole life. He's in his 40s. So
mm,
for him to take that journey, that
mhm,
sacrifice,
mm,
actually that's 1 week travel for him to go and submit. So to me, this
mm.
is not right.
All
And
right. Okay. All right, Doc. You're exaggerating right now. It's not a week.
he has to
Exaggerating.
travel from Shikatende to come to Lusaka and sleep there and see his cousins in Lusaka. And then
There's so
you know
many
the
stops
village
on
people
the
they
way.
like to visit people, So he
Yeah,
can't pass through
yeah,
Lusaka without going to someone's village to the house.
you have to go and visit.
Dog.
Okay. But anyway,
Hmm.
to me, my last question I have is
Mm,
to my party. Can't we do this after the elections? Because I know the main thing we need as a party is that constituencies delimitation, whatever they call it.
Limitation of
That
mm,
is the
constituencies.
main. That's the butter and the bread we are looking
Mm.
for in that thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the
mm,
fact. We want more constituencies in our
mm,
favor.
mm,
That's not something we can hide. Everyone knows.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
mhm,
my party wants. Okay, fine. But
mm.
let's do it after the elections. We will still get those constituencies. Okay, we will still win with the current constituency numbers. We will still win. Okay, there's no opposition. In my view, there's no opposition which can stop us from winning come next year. So let's forget about this. It's just making us unpopular for nothing. I submit.
Okay. Go
As
ahead,
for me,
Wakalinda.
I thought the doc was going to agree, and then I was going to disagree. But I mean, I strongly also disagree on this one. I think for me, it's a
Mm,
timing
mhm,
factor, because this is something that we should have done
mm,
out of the door, out of the gate when we came into power in 2021. Doing it now, it's a little too late, and yeah, we're giving ammunition to the opposition that's not even there. Like the doc says, why only provincial centers? Why are we only doing? I mean, personally, I will submit virtually my submission to the constitution, and this will be the first one I'm ever going to do. I'll do it virtually, but because I've got the means and access to, hoping that when I'll be doing my submissions, the network in Zambia won't be, working against me. Like, we had the network working against Mr. Himwami today.
Mwami, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, not all of us have that privilege or the time to actually do it. So only doing it for 30 days, come on, people. Let's be serious. We're trying to produce a document that's going to stand the test of time. There's a reason why the American Constitution is not being doctored like the way we doctor ours. Like every party that comes into ushered into power in Zambia, we have to we have to doctor our own national constitution. We have no respect. That should be the document that supervise the way we live our lives, the way we do things in the country, the way we respect ourselves, and all of that. But why should we doctor that document every regime change? So, really, I mean, yes, there are some lacunas. We've heard about them, but this is not the right time to do it. It's not the right time.
Okay.
Mr. President, if somebody's going to give you this podcast today, please just call it off, because it's making us look desperate. It's making us look bad when you've done so many great news in the country. This is not it. If you have to do it, let's do it the proper way after you win the elections next year. So for right now, let's just suspend it. It's not worth the little ways we are putting into it. It's not worth it. We have got better things to do. I submit.
Well, good submissions, guys. But the process already started, so I
It can be
don't know if they,
suspended. It
I
can
don't
be
know if they can
suspended.
halt it right now because they halted it, and then when that court judgment came in, and then they say, okay, fine, let's go to what the court recommended.
Yeah, but we
Um,
have already a court case against
mm,
this
mm,
these submissions people are making right now. We have a court case.
mm,
So the
okay.
court case, the constitution will have to rule again. If they ruled against us the first time, 100% chance they're gonna rule against this. Munia Zulu
Mm.
and them, they've already taken this case to court. So, you know,
That one, already heard the Munia Zulu
yeah,
and
there's a new one against this current submission that
mm,
people are making. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh well,
yeah, and
I think we got the we got the best minds in UPND. We got the best lawyers, and of course we got the Attorney General. Of course, they are advising the government on the best way to move in these issues. I wouldn't even tap into it much, not until we actually really hear the way forward after all these, or after all everybody's been saying. What is it? What's the percentage of the people that? How many people want this process to go on? How many people don't want this process to go on? Like, what is it? A 50-50? Is it a 60-90? 60 whatever 40? Like, or is the majority?
nobody has done a survey on that. We
Mm,
don't know.
yeah. So
So
until we
the
know
only
that.
way we're gonna
Mm,
know, I mean, the sampling we could do, because I've done a little bit of survey in my
mm,
in my line of education. Come on now, the only one we're gonna know is we would take, for instance, uh, take the province of Lusaka. How many people are in Lusaka? I'm going to put a number: 2 million. Of the
mm,
2 million, how many are adults? How many people are 18 and over who can actually make these submissions?
mm,
It's probably 1 million. I'm just putting a number there. I'm not saying that's the exact number. I'm just, reading out these numbers. And then how many of those 1 million adults are going to submit to this, sittings currently that are happening? So
mhm,
from that number, then that's when we can get a sampling. Like, well, a total of maybe 2,000 that, adult actually submitting. So right there, it's going to be a no. Right? It's going to be less than, I would say, less than 1% or 2% of the 1 million submitting. So until that happens, we are all shooting in the dark, because I mean we have to look at numbers when it comes to sampling or surveys. It's as simple as that.
mm. All right. Okay. So we'll come back to this. Obviously, as we gather more information, and as we know what the position of the government is from now going forward. But hey, but, but, but Danny,
yeah,
your coach has finally resigned. You're the one who wanted him to resign. He's finally
yeah.
resigned.
It was long overdue. He realized that he had
Uh,
um, no way of continuing. It's good that he has resigned on his
mm,
own. Yeah, we want to move on, and it's a
mm,
good thing that he's gone now. And but the challenge we have as Zambians now is, what do we want in our coach?
mm,
What are we looking for? Because all along we've been looking for a foreign name as the
mm,
only name that can make us prosper.
mm,
I think our view of a Zambia national coach should change now. We shouldn't just be looking for a foreign name. We should be looking for quality, somebody
mm,
that can deliver results.
mhm,
So foreign entity or foreign person should
mhm,
not be the prime factor in selecting our national coach team. National team coach. So
mhm,
that's the thing. We should move away from that way of thinking, because all along, FAS, the moment they want a national coach, they first look outside and not within. Okay, we can have nowadays with technology and all this. There are a lot of local Zambian people that can do a good job as long as they assemble a very good technical team around them. They can still deliver. They can still deliver. So let's take time to look around, um, get a coach. It shouldn't be always a European or something. We can get even an African coach from another African country. That's fine, if as long as it's capable of delivering the results. But for us to start saying, "Oh, we want someone from Sweden, Switzerland, Israel, or what," as the priority, I think we haven't been getting it. We haven't been. We shouldn't be looking within Zambia or within Africa. There are also quality coaches that can coach our national team. But it's a good thing that he's realized that is, and he wrote a very touching letter to say goodbye to Zambians and stuff. But he he is not bitter. He realized the shortfalls. In that letter, he says, though the last statement was a little bit, he was a little bit sarcastic to say, "Oh, I found them in a ditch. They are now in a good place." I don't think so. That was over exaggerating about his success, because he said when he came in, his what do they call it? His benchmark was to make them qualify for these tournaments and not win the tournament. So, who gives you the benchmark of just qualifying and not winning the benchmark? It doesn't make sense. But anyway, so that's what he said. He said he was taught just to make the team qualify and not win the cup, and he did that. So he's very proud.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I,
Anyway,
I wonder what kind of management is anyway. Bakalinda.
Well, I'm just going to add on to what the doc says. I think, for me, I was ready for the big man to leave, like yesterday, and we got what we wanted. At this point, really, I think we have so many Zambian coaches that can, make. We don't even have to look outside Zambia. For instance, Dennis Makinga, look at what he's done with the under 17. Why can't we just promote him to senior level? I mean, it's got enough, it's got enough experience. Moses Citrone has been coaching. He's available, I think. Christopher Katongo, he knows what we need to do to get us to the African Cup of Nations. And also I think with national team selection, let's make sure everybody's included. Let's send out people to every corner of Zambia and bring out the cream, because not all our best players are based in Lusaka or Copperbelt or Northwestern Province. Everybody's playing soccer on the streets of the country. There are little boys doing it. So let's cast the net wider. And yeah, Dennis Makinka can do it. He's proved it.
Debbie.
Whatever his name is. Okay, Debbie Makinka, whatever his name is. He's proved his point. Moses Citon is out there doing his, Dennis Slaughter can do it. I mean, even Carlo, we can bring him back. I mean, we brought him back as a Tekenko. I mean, he knows more than a thing or two. At least he's given us one cup. He certainly, I mean, he should have a lot in his arsenal to make us who we need to be, especially for the male national team. Come on, a disaster. Look at the girls. We have that, whatever her name is, from Sweden or whatever country she's coming from. Yeah, she's taken us to the World Cup again. Good result, Kundandanji. The girls are doing great. What's wrong with our male team women? What's wrong?
Yeah.
Somebody tells me. I think playing the same team under different coaches, thinking we are going to get different results, is a problem.
I think for the male teams in Africa, we have this sort of football corruption, the so-called football corruption. The coaches want players to respect them like little gold, like a little god, so to speak. to say if a player does not respect me, he will not be on the lineup. If the player does not what, sometimes the players shouldn't be afraid of you as if you are, it's just a quality you want in the players. Look at this guy, what he did to our own Fashion Sakala. He contributed to us not qualifying or winning. He just tossed him out. Oh, Fashion
And then
Sakala is very stubborn. He doesn't listen to me. So
and
he will
the
never
day he
play for them.
comes back, he even wins us. He wins us the game.
Yeah, that's a guy who wins us most of the games, and then because he doesn't agree with you, you take it personal that you never feature him in the national team. So Zambia really, really, we don't know those games we were losing without him, whether
Yeah,
we
and
would
we
have
kept
made it.
quiet about it. We kept
Yeah,
quiet. Nobody said
we kept
anything.
quiet
Yeah.
about it. This guy is
Uh,
eliminating one of the best players we have, and then
uh,
you're just quiet as fast. Come on, that's
So
unacceptable.
I think me, my take on this one is we have that inferiority complex that a lot of African countries have, not just in football, soccer, everywhere, even in the economy, even just running our own countries. I mean, there's just that a thing to say if somebody's got a different skin tone, then they're better than us. So we need to start gravitating to the position where we say, look, we can source all these. Zambia is very talented. The players are talented.
Yeah,
The players are already talented. All we need is a coach. Now, there shouldn't be a disconnection between a coach and the players. Most of these young, talented players, most of them have, they haven't reached that high level of education. So even the communication itself, one, there is that breakdown of communication because he obviously will be talking to them in English. But imagine this, you know,
even his
all,
English wasn't all there.
yeah,
Let's put it out there.
So, but my point is, if we have a coach that can simply break it down to the players in the local language, just like the way KK11, I forget his name, the coach, it was. He would sit there and start to point, Iwe, Mupikoyo, you know what I mean? And people would understand that. Iwe, hey, speaking our own language, just like other countries in South America. They'll be there speaking in Spanish, and that's how the players they coordinate. They're like, oh, okay, we understand better that way. Okay, and even just the communication, even the culture breakdown, even like it's football it's not just football, but it's bigger than just football because you're now intertwined. You're going to be together for the next I don't know how many years. So if the culture one your football players, they want to do something, they want to eat in Shima, you want to go and eat spaghetti. You have to have that coach that understands the players understand the coach, you understand each other's languages, and you're able to communicate properly and say, guys, guys, onani, papa vaipa, so.
That's true.
Can I also throw in something there and digress a little bit because you know
Okay.
how I love to digress. The coach who won us the African Cup of Nations was a white man, chairman. He
Fresh.
Mhm.
hardly understood, and his English wasn't all there. What made that coach so special? He didn't speak the local language, but the boys gravitated towards him. Even now, when you speak to that winning team, they speak of him like a god to them.
The boys and girls
The boys and girls. What was his name
gravitated
again?
towards him. He married a Zambian.
Yeah, what's his
Oh,
name?
are you talking about, is it Hevran? What was it? Hevran?
Renat.
He
Yes.
married
Yeah.
the He ran away with the Zambian woman.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you see how his coaching system was. He would
Huh?
go there, he'll be screaming, he'll be telling you don't have a coach na ikala pampando tamba fe bola na ikala.
Mudala bale
Are you
tujanga
a
ama-bed
spectator?
signs naimwe baliranga ama-bed signs
Are you a spectator or you're a coach?
bale tubanga ama-bed signs mudala bali abanani.
I listened to Chelsea talking about him when he was at Chelsea. They
Uh-huh.
said the same thing what Chanda is saying. They are saying they were discussing it. Said, but that coach, today we in NRA pull up a bench. They were saying that.
No, but he
Chelsea,
was too. I mean,
yeah,
in all seriousness, I think he was too old.
yeah.
Yeah. He
He
was.
just
He
didn't
was.
have the
He was.
energy.
The players are
Yeah.
there pushing instead of when you see the game going, very
Mm,
very hot.
mm,
The coach as well has to be in the same mood as if it's the players. But if
mm,
I'm done over there,
Look at our coach at Arsenal. Arsenal. Okay, sorry.
mm,
I digress.
always
mm.
sleeping on the bench,
Mm.
you know.
However,
Yeah,
nobody look here. I don't know I'm a budget baba pela man and can fazi
No,
bapela find a coach.
It's Kamanga. That's why he didn't want to leave. Yeah.
Mm.
He gave that coach a $3 million contract. What do
yeah.
you eh?
Mwe bantu bakwalesa. Now me have been saying it. Go and get ama guys kwatabena Christopher Katongo. He's too youthful. The players will be able to relate to him because he's youthful. Okay?
And he wants to prove it. And he
You see
wants to
what I'm
prove a
saying?
point.
Debbie Makinka. He's
You see?
taken an under 17 male national team to the World Cup
Yeah.
for the
Mama.
first time. That's not a small feat, Vanny.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has seen it. You can let him, okay, go and finish your project to go to World Cup. After that, to pay $500,000. Come and coach the national team.
Yeah.
And you'll see what he's going to do.
Because he has a point to prove.
Yes.
But
But
yeah, but
anyway,
that was bad.
soccer football is, and one funny thing is this. Bangwenja was even when he posted something on social media. He was like, Timwe, I'm looking for a channel where I can watch Zambian football. Where is it? That even brought back to what I was saying earlier on. I was like, look, even ZNBC itself, they don't have a sports channel, which is a national broadcaster. They don't have a sports channel. Sports channel. So we need to start thinking in those terms. First of all, we need to start promoting our own local football. Yeah, they have a live. We know with a
Our local
proper.
football, they are live. We have a contract with anybody, SABC or something in South
I don't know
Africa.
why is it on SABC? Why is it not on ZNBC?
They have
Right.
the machinery.
We
So
don't
why
have
don't we have the machinery?
We don't. We got no money.
We have no satellites.
Chicago,
Why don't we have the machinery?
We
Because
have
have no
none
satellites.
look at this.
Chicago.
This is what's happening. SABC cannot transmit or broadcast those without using our Zambian satellites.
We don't
They
have
use
satellites. Zambia has no satellites.
Sorry?
That's the reason. Zambia has no single satellite in the
No. We
sky.
do have they use them. Like look, even multi-choice. I
We
think
have receivers.
Mm.
We
From
have no
Zamtel.
satellites.
It's only now under Mutati that they're trying to do a satellite.
Yeah.
I think their plans to
I
do that.
believe we
no
do.
satellite.
I might be wrong on that one, but I believe we do have a satellite.
No.
That
We have a
multi-choice.
receiver through
We have
Zamtel.
receivers in Mwembeshi. That's
Through
it.
Zamtel, Mwebant. We don't have a satellite.
We have no satellite in the air.
It's only now that we are trying to do it under the new Dawn government, Mwebant.
Yes.
Okay.
It's another Quenu coming. It's another Quenu
That
coming.
will be big. So once we have a satellite in the air, we will be able to zoom on any game, wherever it is. We'll zoom it, capture it, then send it to Mwembeshi. So right now, why we don't do that is...
But Danny,
Yeah.
broadcasting at the point that where we are now, I don't think we need a space satellite for us to broadcast.
No, you need it.
Yes, we do.
You need it.
We do. Yes, we need it.
You need it. You have to own your own for you to have the rights of transmission. Otherwise, you have to go to South Africa and then they charge you $5 million. Okay, for example, if they charge you $5 million per game, how much money is Zambia first?
The dog is at the beach.
Is muted himself.
He's at the beach. He's always at the yacht club. He's at the yacht club. Yeah. Yeah, I seen some Spanish woman walking around.
So that's what it is, Makalinda, can't you?
Mm.
Ah,
Yeah.
man, okay. So which is a sad thing because I think once that happens,
To say, you know
you know,
what? If
mm,
they charge us $10 million, where are we gonna get this $10 million from the viewers? How are we gonna capture this money from people in Shangombo who are gonna be watching the game? So it doesn't make economic sense. That's why.
And even those people in Shangombe, do they even have TVs to begin with?
no, no, everybody's got TVs now. No, 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 they do have
You
now.
see, so
No, they
that's
do.
it. Doesn't make economic sense.
Very
Mm.
few households.
No, they
But
do have
once we have
TVs
our
now.
own,
Huh?
we don't need to pay anybody. We just zoom in
Mm.
and capture the game and show it to our people. That's it.
Okay. What about all these
Yeah.
low quality,
Anyway, what you
live?
are you there? No, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we're
no.
here. We can hear you.
yeah. So that's the thing. We need to
Mm.
have our own. We need to have our own satellite first.
Mm.
Kaunda, to me, at the time when they were establishing those receivers in Mwembeshi,
Mhm.
I think it was cheaper to launch satellites at those days. I don't know when that Mwembeshi thing was made,
Mm.
but I think that was the time when we had a lot of money and luxury to do that. We'd have launched our own communication satellite in the air.
Mm. Mm.
Um, but now it's quite expensive. But I like Mutati's vision that by year 2030, 2030, whatever, we should have our own satellite in the air.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Then we'll start capturing wild events on our own without
Mm. Mm.
any fees or whatever to pay anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just imagine this person. I don't agree with, and I don't I dislike him. Elon Musk, doesn't he have satellites built to Zambia for his internet?
No,
Yes,
Elon Musk satellites are in the air. There are thousands of them. They are
yeah,
Uh-huh.
small. They are smaller versions.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
They are all over. They are all over the space.
yeah.
They are rotating around the world, but they are
Mm.
not. They are the capability. Their capability is not that of commercial satellites that are huge and capable of doing things like live matches and stuff like that. For him, it's just for communication purposes. So for him, they are just for a certain frequency of waves that can only transmit audio. Okay, so that's why you can use for communication in terms of phone communication and all that,
And
but
internet.
not when it comes to videos and all that type
Yeah.
of thing. They are not
So
yet
so
that
so
level.
so with the
They are
Starlink,
thousands of
Starlink.
thousands. He launches about 1,000 satellites per week.
Yeah,
Elon Musk. They're
yeah,
tiny, tiny little things. They're
yeah.
like
So
like
I
a
had
small little plate size, like a plate, the size of a plate. That's
mhm,
how small that his satellites are.
yeah.
And there are so
I
many of them
actually about Danny.
there are
Just so I
thousands
don't know
of
what
them.
you're saying about Danny.
And
Just
he's very smart in the sense that
Danny.
he doesn't need any license to launch them because there's a height. There's a height in the space where you need to get a license. But he has come below that height where you have to get permission. You can just launch whatever you want to put in there without anyone bothering you. And that's what he's done.
Gentlemen,
He's a
I
smart
have
guy.
to. I have to leave.
I have to
Yeah, I
leave as
think
well. I'm getting a lot of text
we all
messages
have
here
to.
from
Well,
my
have to leave.
colleagues.
Yeah, we
Yes,
all have to
my.
leave.
I need to spend a little bit of more time. My college bound son, or he's already in college. Is here. He just
Okay.
drove in, so
All right.
Oh,
let me
okay.
be a mother for a few hours before he goes back.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
All
First
right.
year. First
Let's
year. No,
let's
no, no,
call it
no.
a day.
All right, guys.
But Chirufia is
Thank
on
you very
mute.
much, guys. Thank you for joining us
You
today.
are mute, but
We'll
Chirufia can't hear
all
you.
be. No, Makadina, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Not like stand you two for being your cool, but
Yeah. He's
It's
you
you.
muted.
okay?
It's you.
He's
It's on your
talking to
end.
himself.
No, it's on your end. Wakalinda can hear me.
Yeah. He can't hear us. That we can't hear him.
I can't hear. I can hear you, the both of you.
No, I
So
can't
it
hear
is
you
you.
myself.
Eh? Who
I
are
can't
It's
you
hear.
you.
looking? Who are you looking at the yacht club? Dope.
No, it was yesterday. We went on a sunset cruise.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yesterday we went on a cruise,
you've
so I was
muted
not
me.
available.
No,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
I can hear you as well, but I can't hear Chirufia.
Uh-uh. What's going on? What's going on? Okay.
I don't know, something weird. But in any case, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll join, or maybe close it to Makalinda so that he can hear. Thank you, but for taking part. We'll obviously convene next week again.
Oh,
And
yeah.
everybody, have a nice, lovely weekend. Enjoy the family.
Oh, absolutely. Good night. Good evening.